So hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well. Today I have again Vanita ji on our YouTube channel. Welcome Vanita ji, namaste.
Namaste. Thank you so much for having me again on your channel.
Thank you, our pleasure, and thank you for joining us today. She's going to be discussing about Jupiter transit on its own sign, Pisces, and how the basics and how it's going to affect each ascendant. And so I welcome Vanita ji, and please fill us up with your knowledge.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you once again. And it's a very important transit, as we all know, Jupiter being the pious most and the benefic most planet, and is transiting its own zone, forming a Hansa Yoga, for the babies born on this day. So it's a very important transit. So I thought that it should be paid a lot of attention because I wanted it to be inclusive of everything, whatever I can. Again, in segments, I'll be taking you through to this video. Dates will be there. Dates would be of the transit, then retrograde, Gandanta. Gandanta dates are also important. And then I will be going through the Nakshatra and the Navamsa dates also. Then there is a Hansa Yoga forming. So I will be doing the Hansa Yoga little bit, that what it means for the babies born on this day. Then there are conjunctions of planets also happening in the year 2022 to 2023, April to April. So that is also very important. How is it going to be impacting? What does it mean? And then Jupiter's aspects. There are three aspects of Jupiter and Saturn and Mars. So Jupiter will be aspecting the signs, and how is it going to be impacting the planets seated there when they will be transiting. I will be giving you the dates and I'll be explaining a little bit about that also. Then I will be taking you through to the Vedha concept, Vedha and Viprit Vedha. When Jupiter is transiting a particular zone, there are certain good places and there are certain bad places which are not that favorable. Not bad places, we should say, but not that favorable places. So when Jupiter is transiting through particular zones, there are certain planets in certain angles which impact this Jupiter negatively or positively. There is a Vedha. Vedha means obstruction. And if there is a cancellation of obstruction because of a planet transiting through a particular zone in a particular angle, that is also very important phenomena which actually is supposed to be dealt with during this transit. So Jupiter's transit can, you feel that sometimes it's giving good results, sometimes it's not. It should be giving good results, but why suddenly it started to give bad results? Because there is a transit of a planet in a particular zone away from this Jupiter. So that is something which people miss out on. I will be covering in this video as well. So stay tuned for that also. And I will be incorporating Sudarshan Chakra Dasha in this video, which is very rarely used in transits. I will be doing that also in case you are also feeling the results which are not favorable, or results which are favorable, even if it is, say, 12 relationship of this Jupiter from your Jupiter, still you're getting good results. So that is because of this Sudarshan Chakra Dasha, which I will be covering in this video as well. Then I will be telling you how two benefic planets, Jupiter and Venus, will be hemmed between the Malefics this year. Very important. The most important Venus and Jupiter, which are the grace giving planets, they will be hemmed between the Malefics this year because Venus exalts in the Jupiter's sign. So it is very important again. And lastly, I'll be taking you through to the 12 Ascendants predictions. So let's start with the presentation, Navjeet. So this is about Jupiter's ingress in the Pisces sign, and it is going to be from the 13th of April 2022 to the 22nd of April 2023. Jupiter is going to be in the Gandanta zone from 8th till the 22nd of April. If you are unaware of Gandanta, there are several videos that I have made on Gandanta. I will be sharing the link in the description box on both the channels. You can go back and watch and understand what is Gandanta. Basically, in short, I could just tell you that from the watery energy, the planet is transiting through the fiery sign. So that is where, there is a major shift which is happening. It happens thrice though, from Cancer to Leo, from Scorpio to Sagittarius also, this transition happens. But this is like an initiation of everything. The energies are now culminating, the emotions are culminating, and now you're going to be starting afresh. That is where the Gandanta point is. That is the junction point. You're traveling by metro and you have to change the metro lines. So that is where, you feel that there is a lot of commotion also. So you will be going through that commotion, but at the end of the day, you find that this commotion was required to get a peaceful journey ahead. So this Gandanta zone, this Jupiter is going to be from the 8th till the 22nd of April, 2023, and then moves into the sign of Aries. Jupiter is going to be moving in retrograde motion also from 29th of July till the 24th of November. Any planet who's retrograde forgets his own significations. Jupiter is said to be behaving like a Venus. So it is more like a lustful planet now. Venus minus lust is Jupiter. Jupiter plus lust, not only physical lust, but mental lust, your material lust. So all that is Jupiter plus lust is equals to Venus. That is what this retrogradation is about. And of course, I will be sharing with you my insights on the same also closer to the time. So as we all know, Jupiter is the most benefic planet. It is about optimism, whatever good things you can see, abundance, happiness, growth, knowledge. These are all the adjectives that we can attach with Jupiter. Jupiter is abundance, full of hope. So that is the reason, when we talk about Jupiter, we really get a big smile on our face, irrespective of its placement, whatever its, its malefic influence on this, if it's afflicted also. Jupiter is Jupiter. Jupiter is the Jiva Karaka, life-giving force. He's a teacher. And there is a Hansa Yoga also, which is forming for Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces natives during this time. I will be obviously sharing my views on this when I'm doing the predictive. But the babies who are born during this time, they are supposed to, as per the classic texts, classic texts say, have been written from a long, long time when the kings were there. So at that time, babies with this Hamsa Yoga, the Panchamahapurusha Yoga, people used to say that this baby who's born will become a king, will be at a very higher position. And in today's world, it's considered to be a government dignitary, a politician also, respected by people, of course. This baby will be eating delicious foods and will be virtuous when it grows big. Hamsa Yoga is when in the Kendra, Jupiter is in its own zone. So in the Kendra, it is going to be from Gemini also, from Virgo also, from Sagittarius also, and from Pisces, any which ways it's in the Kendra. Jupiter, when is in the Kendra, in its own zone, even if it is in the Mool Trikona sign of Sagittarius or Pisces in the Kendra, this Hamsa Yoga is formed. Now, there are certain conjunctions which are happening in Pisces sign, which I'll be covering in this video a little bit about it in the year 2022 first and then 2023. So Sun is going to be there in the sign of Pisces for a day when Jupiter transits through this very same day. And then Sun moves on. Venus will be conjunct this Jupiter from the 27th of April to the 23rd of May, which is again considered to be a very positive transit because Jupiter and Venus are very cushy, very comfortable here. Venus exalts here. So any kind of relationship, love, romance, any kind of beauty, whatever your social and love life requires, all that is going to be getting very positive results in those spheres, especially because Venus is your beauty also, your happiness also. So when you are having both the grahas, which are positive grahas, so this definitely is going to be making you the magnet of life towards experiencing love and beauty. If you're thinking of initiation of a new romance, new relationship where you will be getting married or something, that also can happen during this time. You want glorious moments of love and happiness that effortlessly emerge. And, you will be careful about your sacrifices also, about your money, time, wealth, relationship, health. This Jupiter is going to be conjunct Mars from the 17th of May till the 27th of June. And this is, this is going to amplify. Wherever Jupiter sits, it amplifies the significations of the particular planet. So when Jupiter-Mars combination happens, that means you will have a lot of will. You will have a lot of inspiration to do things, accomplish something which will be impactful for sure. And this is going to be giving you a lot of spirit of willingness. If you're a sports person, this will definitely be very positive for you. Now you will be actually breaking your job into smaller bits so that you can tackle the work pressure. So this definitely is going to be very much, positive for you. Good relationship with your siblings, property related issues, if at all you are having any kind of progeny issues, all that is going to get better only with this combination. In 2023, Venus again will be joining this Jupiter in Pisces sign from 15th of February till the 12th of March. And then Sun and Mercury are also going to be conjunct one by one. So 15th March, Sun, and 16th March onwards, Mercury also joins. So three of the planets will be getting conjunct in the sign of Pisces. From 15th of March till the 14th of April, Sun will be there. So Sun is what? Sun is authority. Sun is father also. So if at all your father is having some health issues, that will be getting better. If at all you're thinking of investing somewhere, attaining success in the lottery, stocks, all that is also going to be very positive. For starters, you can use this as an auspicious time to study subjects that broadens and enriches your mindset. Maybe astrology, occult sciences also you can take up. Similarly, enjoying the company of foreigners or traveling new places to new countries is also well favored right now. So you want to experience more of what the world has to offer. You're inclined to be more charitable also. But at the same time, Sun and Jupiter amplify ego clashes. You feel quite arrogant at times, self-appreciation kind of a thought process. Jupiter and Mercury will be conjunct together also in this Pisces sign. Here, Mercury is in debility. But at the same time, with Jupiter conjunction, it is sort of a Nicha Bhanga forming for this Mercury, and you really want to get connected with the subjects, people, things more. You're inclined to see connections between all this, and also you strive to keep your mind readily perceptive. Mercury is education also. Mercury is the Karaka for communication. So when Jupiter and Mercury combine, significations will enhance big time. So if you have to buy some electric gadgets, or if you want to go ahead with some education, stream change, attaining knowledge about something, so you're going to be bridging all that gap that you have had. So this will be definitely positive depending on your Mercury in the chart. And I would like to add up one more thing. Jupiter will be hemmed between Mars and Saturn, 30th of May 2022 to 12th of July. So it is not going to lose that potency to give the results, but yes, there will be some lack of momentum. You will feel that there is a little bit of delaying and frustrating energy that you're feeling. And then, Saturn moves backwards in the Capricorn sign and will be aspecting this Jupiter. So there is a difference. When planets are, hemmed between malefics, it's like a lock that you are in, locked down as if. So you feel that you are shut from the world. You're not able to use your wisdom on the right time. And when Saturn moves backwards, it's going to be, again, Jupiter is going to be hemmed between Mars and Saturn even then. But here, the difference is that it's one house away. So Saturn will be looking at this Jupiter. The significations of Jupiter will definitely suffer again, because Jupiter has been in Capricorn, then Aquarius, and now been aspected by Saturn till January 2023. This Jupiter is also again in the influence of Saturn. So he feels quite restricted in the approach, whatever you want to do in your happiness, in your peace, progeny, wisdom, all those acquiring of knowledge, all those things, your religious, spiritual belief system, they are refrained, they are restricted. So this will be repeated from 18th of January till the 23rd of January, because that's the time when Saturn and Rahu will be on the either sides. So this Jupiter and Venus both will be hemmed at that time. I'll just show it to you. This is the chart of 30th of May 2022. So as you can see, Venus is hemmed between Mars and Rahu, and Jupiter is hemmed between Mars and Saturn. So this, like two benefics hemmed between malefics, means that the happiness quotient or the peace that you're looking for, luxurious lifestyle, there's a restriction attached to it. And Saturn from Aquarius will be also looking at Rahu and Venus from here. Malefic influence attached to this Venus and Jupiter. Now here what is happening? Now Saturn is going to be aspecting Jupiter. Venus is also hemmed till the 16th of June. So from the 30th of May onwards, they both are under the malefic influence of Mars, Saturn and Rahu. Three most malefic planets are spoiling the significations of Venus and Jupiter. So there will be a lot of aggression in people, the authoritative people especially. There will be relationship issues that we can face during this time even more. We'll hear more of the domestic violence, like that kind of a scenario even more. So when, if you will see, just after a day, Venus moves forward. So it is coming out of the malefic influence. So it is moving towards the Taurus sign here. So, and Saturn moving backwards will be going to, will be here till the 12th of July and will be aspecting this Jupiter from there. So this is what I wanted to mention, because this is a very important one. Then we have this aspect of Jupiter. Jupiter in Pisces is going to cast his aspect on three signs, Cancer, Virgo, Scorpio. So here planets will be obviously getting that grace. If at all you have already got planets in Cancer, Virgo, Scorpio, so it's good. And moon debilitates in Scorpio. So that is going to be actually feeling quite comfortable with Jupiter's aspect on Scorpio. So the significations of moon that suffer when it's in the Scorpio sign are going to be, for at least this whole year, when Jupiter is in Pisces sign, they are going to get mellowed down. You feel quite uneasy, mentally fickle, uneasy in regards to making decision. You're not comfortable in mentally, in doing things. So when Jupiter is casting its aspect on Scorpio sign, so definitely it is going to be minimizing the impact of a moon transiting through there once in a month. So this is definitely going to be very positive. And there are planets who will be from this. These are the dates when planets will be transiting through Cancer, Virgo, and Scorpio signs. Mercury exhausts in Virgo sign and Venus debilitates there. So this being in the mutual aspect, MA is mutual aspect from Jupiter in Pisces, the significations of Venus are going to get amplified now, because there is a mutual aspect between Venus and Jupiter. Mercury, of course, is going to be feeling quite comfortable. The significations of Mercury are also going to double up. So it's going to be a very positive time. Jupiter is going to be transiting through the three nakshatras of Purva Bhadra, Uttar Bhadrapada, and Revati during his stay in Pisces sign. See, there are three padas of Purva Bhadra in Aquarius sign, which Jupiter has already transited through since 2nd of March 2022. But one pada is going to be in this sign of Pisces till the 28th of April. But Uttar Bhadrapada, Saturn's nakshatra, there are 4 padas, and it's a long stay of this Jupiter. That is 28th April 2022 to 24th of February 2023. Revati from 24th February till the 22nd of April. And as I said, from 8th to the 22nd, it's a Gandanta position of Jupiter. It's a transitional phase. Now, Jupiter will be moving into the Navamshas, 9 Navamsha in Pisces sign. There are from Cancer to Pisces, there are 9 Navamsha. Cancer Navamsha is in Purva Bhadrapada. So that is from the 13th of April till the 28th of April. That is what is called the one charan, which is the one part which is left in the sign of Pisces. Then comes the Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, which is in the Saturn's nakshatra. That is Uttar Bhadrapada. Please make a note of the date. So if you are feeling good results of this Jupiter transit, just give all the credit to the Navamsha movements during these days. So these will be positive for wherever your Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio signs are in your D1 chart. So they will get enhanced and amplified towards better. So if at all you are a Leo rising, so definitely this is going to be a very positive time from 28th April till the 16th of May to do things, whatever, your tasks are stuck. So do it during this time, positive days. So that's how you can yourself understand what are the positive and the negative dates. So when it is in the Virgo Navamsha, for Virgo natives or wherever your Virgo sign is, suppose Virgo is your fourth house. So it is going to be amplifying the Hansa Yoga even more, because Jupiter as it is transiting through the Kendra, and Virgo Navamsha, that means it is going to be an exalted position for your Lagna also, that is Gemini rising. So this transit of Jupiter is not just going to be giving Pisces result, but is going to be giving one by one Leo, Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio. Okay, now it's going to go retrograde also, not to forget. So when Jupiter is going retrograde, it's going to be in Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra in reverse. Now, from Leo to Scorpio, it has already moved. Now it's going to be moving backwards from Scorpio, Libra, Virgo, and Leo. So again, the similar kind of results, or maybe some tasks that you have to complete, you will be completing during this time, because Jupiter is closest to the earth during this time, so has potency to give maximum results, maximum grace. Then comes Jupiter transiting through Uttara Bhadrapada in the direct motion again. When it goes direct on the 24th of November, then touches Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio again. So 3 times can you see this Jupiter is going to be back and forth in Leo, Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio signs. So this is a very positive time for at least these people. So you have to check yourself whether the retrograde is giving you good results or not, depending on your natal Jupiter. Because there are multiple factors that we have to consider before jumping into conclusion that this transit is completely good or completely bad. Then comes Jupiter transiting through Revati Nakshatra. When it's in Revati, there are 4 padas again. 1 pada, as I said, Cancer pada is in Purva Bhadra, 4 padas in Uttara Bhadra, and 4 padas in Revati. So Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. These are the 4 padas that are in Revati Nakshatra. Please make a note of the dates. In the last fag end, when it's at 26 degrees, 40 minutes to 30 degrees, that's the last charan, when it's Jupiter is Vargottama also. From 8th to the 22nd of April is the Gandanta Ansha. So that is where, you know, Jupiter feels quite restless, because it's leaving its own zone. Jupiter doesn't like to be very enthusiastic, outgoing. How is a teacher? A teacher wants to impart knowledge, doesn't need anything. So similarly, Jupiter is not that kind of a planet who needs the material growth, material lust. He doesn't have it. So now here, that is the reason, you know, when he's leaving this Pisces sign, he feels that, you know, he's moving towards the material realms again, because Pisces is the last sign of the natural zodiac. So it's like the culmination of all the energies. The cycle is coming to an end. All the things that you have done till now, you're going to be contemplating when Jupiter is in Pisces, Navamsa also. It's Vargottama. Pisces sign also in D1 and in D9 also when it's transiting through. So see where your Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces sign is in Revati Nakshatra when Jupiter is transiting through. So these areas of life will get triggered up now even more. Now, this is a very important concept, you know, Vedha concept. Vedha is obstruction and Viparit Vedha is cancellation of obstruction. Now, there are certain places which are very good for Jupiter's transit, okay? For all the planets, as a matter of fact, there are certain good positions. I've made a separate video of the same also. I'll share the link with you, how this Vedha concept works. So there are certain good places, but you know, you feel that why I'm not getting the good results? It's because Jupiter is in an angular distance from a particular planet transiting through a particular sign house. What are the good places of Jupiter's transit? So when Jupiter transits through 2, 5, 7, 9, 11 houses, these are good houses for Jupiter's transit. So when any planet is transiting through 12th, 4th, 3rd, 10th, 8th houses from the Lagna, okay, we have to check from the ascendant. If Jupiter is in the 2nd house, 12th house will cause the Vedha. If any planet is transiting through the 12th house. If Jupiter is transiting through your 5th house, so that is for the Scorpio natives. For Scorpio natives, it is going to be a Vedha if a planet is transiting through Aquarius, that is the 4th house zone. If Jupiter is transiting your 7th house for Virgo natives especially, so this will be actually a Vedha, an obstruction, if any planet is transiting to the 3rd house, which is the Scorpio sign for you. So for Cancer ascendant, this 9th house transit of Jupiter is considered to be very positive. But if there is a planet transiting to the 10th house of yours, that is Aries sign, then this is a Vedha, obstruction caused to the transit of Jupiter, which is really very important and ignored by people. One must consider Jupiter's transit as to what is the other planet transiting through in the different houses. Now, for Taurus natives, this is the 11th house transit, which is positive, right? Now, if there is a planet transiting through Sagittarius, okay, that is the 8th house, then there is an obstruction caused to this Jupiter. So there will be some problem or the other that one has to go through related to that particular zone where Jupiter is transiting. So it will minimize the impact or the good impacts of the Jupiter transiting Jupiter. There are certain bad positions when Jupiter is transiting through, that is third, fourth, eighth, 10th houses, 12th houses when Jupiter transits. That is for Capricorn, Sagittarius, Leo, Gemini, Aries, respectively. So when there are planets transiting through Cancer, Aries, Gemini, Aquarius, Taurus in your particular sign at that same time when Jupiter is transiting through these zones, 3, 4, 8, 10, 12, then there is a cancellation of obstruction. So it is a good thing which happens, there's a balancing impact now. If Jupiter is not comfortable in the third house, there has to be a planet in the seventh house simultaneously transiting, and it will give very good results for the Capricorn ascendants. So for similarly Sagittarius ascendants, Jupiter transiting through fourth house is not considered to be good, but if there is a planet transiting your fifth house, that will be cancelling this negative influence of Jupiter. Okay, now I am incorporating Sudarshan Chakra Dasha, which is very important. These are fixed. These are the fixed age groups. Now, what happens in this transit? Now, here we progress the natal Jupiter every year. And when the first cycle completes, Jupiter will be giving the results of the second house, so on and so forth. Now, check where your natal Jupiter is. Check your age and see where it has progressed. Suppose you're a Cancer rising and you're 34 years of age and your natal Jupiter is in the fifth house. You're born with this. Now you have to count 10 places away from that natal Jupiter because 34 years of age, 10th house is operative. If you can see here, 34 years of age, 10th house is operative. So 10th house from where? 10th house from your natal Jupiter. Now the house is operative. It is the second house which is actually operative, right? But if you see from the face of it, the transit is in Pisces sign. Oh, it's a beautiful transit. But when we see the Jupiter, which is progressed Jupiter at the age of 34, 46, 58, so on and so forth. So Jupiter is actually operating in the second house. And from second house, this transit is the 8th house transit of Jupiter. So this will not give the results that you are expecting from the Jupiter in the natural way transiting your 9th house. The results, if you're not getting the results, it's because your progressed Jupiter is not in comfortable position from the Pisces sign. Jupiter is the minister of the year as per the planetary cabinet from the Chaitra Shukla Paksha Pratipada. That's the Hindu New Year. And this year we have Saturn as the king. And Saturn will be back and forth from Aquarius to Capricorn and will be aspecting most of the year this Jupiter. So when Jupiter is in Pisces and Saturn is in Capricorn, the third aspect of Saturn will actually restrict this Jupiter because hemmed between Malefic also, Mars and Saturn, and then, it is going to be aspected by this Saturn as well. So this is not giving this Jupiter much space to give the benefic results on the global level. Let's start with the predictive for all the 12 signs, ascendants or the moon signs, whichever resonates more with you. Check yourself, which one is matching up more. It can be that your Dasha Lord, wherever your Dasha Lord is, that matches better. Suppose you are having a Dasha of Mercury posited in Sagittarius. So count from Sagittarius, make this your first house, count from there where Jupiter is transiting. So Jupiter is transiting in the 4th house from there. So you will get the results related to the 4th house even more. The 4th house results are pronounced even more. And then check the aspects from the Sagittarius sign of yours. So it is not compulsory that your Sagittarius is your first house. It can be a 3rd house, 4th house, 5th house. But you are making it your first house because your Dasha Lord, that is Mercury, you're running through the Mercury Dasha and is posited in the Sagittarius sign. So make it your first house and see from there. And I have seen maximum results are felt when you check from your Dasha Lord also. So let's start with the Aries people first. So my dear Aries people, this transit is happening over your 12th house. And from there, Jupiter is going to be aspecting your 4th, 6th, and the 8th houses. And being the lord of the 9th and the 12th, this definitely is activating your foreign travels, desire and for peace and seclusion, meditation, nirvana. You're going to be more interested in spiritual pursuits. Expenditures will increase, though. You are going to be more charitable, more inclined towards pilgrimages. You're going to be traveling. And also the 4th house aspect can lead to property, vehicle, land. 6th house transit, repayment of loans. The health is going to get better. The competition success, we can expect some compromises will take place in case you are filing any court case or lawsuits. So you will get a solution as well. In case you are thinking of a job change or foreign income, so this is also very much positive and is quite likely that this happens. Health will get better, family matters will get resolved, things are getting much calmer, there's peace around. This is also the 11th house from the 2nd, so this will give you a lot of money, wealth, growth as well. And this is the 10th house from the 3rd house. So this will give your siblings enhancement in their wealth as well. You know, taking up some new jobs, they'll be getting some promotions, they're going to be traveling for their career. And this is the 9th house from the 4th house as well. So 9th house from the 4th means that the mother is also going to be maybe traveling. You're going to be thinking about higher learning, higher education also during this time, in case you're a student native. From the 7th house is the 6th house. So this is going to give the partner some health issues. So you have to take care of your partner's health, a liver or, you know, blood related issues, blood pressure. Rise in blood pressure also. So you have to take care of all that. Though this is good for your partnership business, in case you want to go in for some signing of agreement or something, some new business that is on cards. So this is definitely going to be positive. It is also 5th from the 8th house. So this leads to in-depth knowledge, something that you want to enhance, something which you have been building up on. So this is the time for imagination, creativity, because it is 8th house from the 5th house. So this can lead to some, changes in the children's nature. You know, they're going to be parting ways. They're going to be going in for some higher education. So you have to let go of them. So that is separation from children in a way. So that is nowadays very common and very positive. Jupiter gives a generosity, healing process that takes place, quite futuristic. You're very creative, contentment and serenity now. Chant Om Gram Greem Grom Saha Guruve Namaha Om for 108 times every day. If you can't do it every day, at least on Thursday and a Tuesday, you can be doing this. You see, there are certain dates that I'm giving you. You have to be a little extra careful when on the 13th to the 28th April, in case you have to go in for some property related matters. You have to be a little extra careful about signing the documents during this time. 2nd July to the 24th of August, keep a check on your health. In case you have to go in for some research paper or something, if you're writing, you have to be doing it during this time, which is positive, but you have to take care of your health, your father's health also. 12th to the 26th of March, there can be some loss or theft while traveling, or some expenditures on your health, hospitalization or something can happen. So just the dates that you have to be a little extra cautious about. 8th to the 22nd of April, this can also lead to some upheavals at your place of work. 12th to the 26th of March, also you have to be a little extra cautious about your workplace, arguments that can happen at the place of work. So extra careful on these dates related to your expenditures, health, investments. You should avoid investments from the 8th to the 22nd of April. They can be a loss that you have to go through. Now, I have already explained about Sudarshan Chakra Dasha in the beginning part. You can just go back and check what it means. Now, you have to check where your Jupiter has progressed in your birth chart. From your 1st house, this transit is happening in your 12th house. So this will minimize the impact of the benefic results because it is the 12th house, though if it is good for you for travels. But at the same time, you have to be taking care of your health. 5th house, because it is the 8th house from the 5th house. If it is this progress, Jupiter is in your 7th house, that is Libra. So this will be the 6th house transit from there. So it can give some health issues to your partner, It can lead to some kind of complications in the partnership businesses also. So you have to check it this way. Please go and hear the summary part I've explained there as well. Okay. Coming to the next sign, that is Taurus. So for Taurus natives, this transit is happening over your 11th house, being the lord of the 8th and the 11th. And this Jupiter is going to be aspecting your 3rd house, 5th house, and 7th house. So all the significations of these are going to get enhanced, going to be more pronounced. So if at all there is any planet which is transiting the Sagittarius sign, so this will be a Vedha. Vedha means obstruction. Now here, because it is the lord of the 8th also and 11th also, it will give you sudden gains, sudden losses. Income and financial growth definitely is on cards. Desire fulfillment, short journeys, because looking at the 3rd house, romance, progeny, because it's 5th house aspect. Also, it is looking at your 7th house, which is marriage, relationships. They are going to get better. New partnerships, growth in business. So this is the house of older siblings. Whatever your friendships, meeting powerful people, do that during this time. It is definitely very positive for forming a connection with the affluent people. This is the 12th house from the 12th house. So this is also end of losses, end of expenditures. That is why this is the house of gains. So when Jupiter is transiting here, so definitely the wealth prospects are going to get enhanced. This is the 6th house from the 6th house. So this will give you recovery from illness. There can be that you're going to be getting healed now. And also this is the 10th from the 2nd house. So it will be giving you good career growth. You are going to be hardworking. You're going to be doing things which are very important right now, and the priorities will be set. This is the 2nd house from the 10th. This is also very good for your financial growth and your elevation at the place of work. And this is the 9th house from the 3rd house. So this will give you higher education, higher learning, long distance journeys. In case you have your siblings, they're going to be traveling. Also, relationship with siblings is going to get better. Also, this is the 3rd house from the 9th house. So the communication with your father is going to improve. Father is going to be teaching or going to be meeting his siblings, or he is going to sort out things with the co-bonds or co-workers. Now, this is the 8th house from the 4th house. You have to take care of your mother's health. And this is also the house of security. So you will be having some hidden fear, latent anger, latent fear, which will always be, on the back of the mind. So you have to chant Om Sham Shanishcharaya Nama Om. This definitely is going to be very positive for you. You have to chant it 108 times. If you can do it every day, perfect. If you can't do it at least on Fridays and Saturdays. This will help you come out of those fears. These are the dates that I've mentioned, which can lead to some complications here and there. So you have to just make a note of these. It can lead to some property related issues that you have to sort out, or maybe you have to sign some papers, filing of documents. So if you're doing it, be more careful. Extra caution is required during this phase. From the 20th of October till the 29th of December, this is a long phase because Jupiter is going to get retrograde also from 20th October to the 24th of November. This is the time when you have to see how your work is going, because what happens when you are thinking of shifting out from the place where you are living. So this might just, give you some confusion. So you have to be very careful during the 20th of October to the 24th of November. And then 24th of November to the 29th of December. It is going to be back and forth. This Jupiter is going to be back and forth. So it can lead to some, depending on your personal chart, where if you are having a retrograde planet, so it will give the results of retrogression even more. Whatever the significations of Jupiter, they will get pronounced even more. 26th of March to the 8th of April. So this will give you some confusion at the place of work. If at all you can avoid making some decisions related to your work, so you should. Now, as per the Sudarshan Chakra Dasha, I have already mentioned in the initial summary part, this is based on the progress Jupiter. So if your progressed Jupiter is in Leo, Libra, or Aries, then this will be the 6, 8, 12 houses, which is not that favorable. At these age groups, what I've mentioned, you will feel the results even more. It will be pronounced even more. You have to be careful about your health, about your money, about your financials. Do not invest. If at all you are in this age group, the results cannot be the same for all the age groups. That is why I've mentioned that only for these age groups, this transit is not that favorable. If at all you have your progressed Jupiter in the 4th, 6th, or 12th houses. Okay, and also this is the 7th from the 5th house transit. So this is also very positive for a childbirth. This is the 5th from the 7th. So this is your spouse's children. So childbirth, which is on cards, the mind or counsel given by your spouse. So agree upon that and follow the advice, which is going to be helpful. Coming to the next sign, that is Gemini. So for Gemini natives, being the lord of the 7th and the 10th, this transit is happening in your 10th house. From here, Jupiter is going to be aspecting the 2nd, 4th, and the 6th houses. And the results of these houses will be more pronounced: 7, 10th, 2, 4, 6 for you. In the 10th house, this placement of Jupiter is not considered to be good because 10th house is the house of profession and Jupiter debilitates in the 10th sign of the natural zodiac. Not that favorable place for Jupiter. So there is a Viprit Vedha. I have already mentioned in the summary part for this also. If a planet is transiting the Aquarius sign, that is the 9th house, then this is going to be cancellation of obstruction. So Jupiter in this zone is not going to be giving negative results. Promotion is on cards, elevation is there because there is a cancellation also which is happening. Increase in savings, career growth, competitors, you're going to succeed. You're going to be having, you are going to be purchasing your property because it's looking at your 4th house. It's going to be enhancing your income because it's looking at your 2nd house. Workload will increase because it's the 10th house zone. It is the 12th house from the 11th house. Losses from the elder sibling. Or it can indicate that you're going to be spending a lot of money on your friends, influential people you'll be getting in touch with, because it is the 11th from the 12th house. So this will indicate large sums of money that you will be giving in charity. You're going to be getting government grants. You'll be getting some, travel plans, which will actually be positive for work. This is the 9th house from the 2nd house. So your family members are going to be going in with you for pilgrimages. You're going to be going for adventure trips. You're going to be enjoying and unwinding with your family members, and financials are also going to get enhanced. And this is the 2nd house from your 9th house. 9th house is the house of father. So when this is the 2nd house transit, so that means your father is going to be inclined towards spirituality, enhancing of his wealth. His growth prospects are indicative of this. This is the 8th house from the 3rd house. Problems at the place of work for your siblings. This can lead to some complications in the job of your co-bonds and co-workers as well. Some really, close co-workers might just quit the job, or they're being sacked and they have to leave the job. That's also quite possible depending on your personal chart, of course. It is the 3rd house from the 8th house. So this will lead to some growth prospects related to your work and sudden gains and sudden losses. You will be research oriented. You will go deeper in the realms of communication. It will not be a superficial kind of a communication. This is the 7th house from your 4th house. It will give growth in your mother's income, and you will be purchasing some new property also. So Jupiter is forming a Hansa Yoga, which is definitely very positive for you. And the babies born during this time, it is going to be giving more results for the babies who are born. So it's said that they are born to be kings. This is also the 6th house from the 5th. Health issues to your children. 5th house from the 6th will give you counseling sessions, healing. You're going to be enhancing your income. Change of job, change of profession is on cards. When will that happen? See, I've given you a few dates when you should not be making decisions. 28th April to the 16th of May, some changes in your place where you live. It can also give some changes in your siblings' job, or maybe you will be traveling during this time, some short journeys on cards. 20th of October to December 2022, vehicle, place change, job change, and it might be a very unsettling kind of a phase. So make sure that you don't go in for some heavy investments during this time. Do not pick up any kind of arguments with your coworkers, clashes with the seniors. That all can happen. So make sure that you take care of all that. 12th to the 26th of March, this is the time when you can have some health issues. You have to be really cautious about your health during this time. Relationships, in case you're thinking of getting involved with somebody or you're already involved, this can lead to some scandal. And in case you're thinking of marriage, definitely 7th Lord is getting active in the Kendra. Hansa Yoga is forming. So you can go in for marriage or marriage-like relationship. Your relationships are going to get better. Okay. Also, you have to chant Om Sham Shanishwaraya Namaha Om for 108 times. You should chant every day. In case you can't, then you should at least do it 108 times on a Wednesday and a Saturday. This during this transit especially. It'll really help you. Okay. Now, I have already done this Sudarshan Chakra Dasha in the beginning part. If your progress Jupiter is in Leo, Libra, or Aries, so this becomes your 6, 8, 12 houses. These are not favorable positions for these age groups, not for everyone, but for the ones whose age is mentioned here. So this is the 3rd house, 5th house, and 11th house, where the progressed Jupiter is. So from there, this transit is 6, 8, 12 houses away, which is not considered to be very favorable related to those zones. So 3rd house, of course, it can give some complications as far as your siblings are concerned, place of work, change of job. 5th house, not good for children. They can, be going in for some overhauling, some changes, in their life. 11th house, because it is this transit is the 12th house from the 11th. So this can be loss of friends, or there can be complications with the friends or the co-workers even more. So you have to make sure that you take care of all this. Okay. And do the remedy. Definitely it will help you. Okay. Coming to the next sign, that is Cancer. How is this Jupiter's transit ascendant on moon sign? It's being the lord of the 6th and the 9th, will be transiting the 9th and will be aspecting 1st house, 3rd house, and the 5th house. So in the 9th house, new ideas, new experiences. You will be traveling, time to attract people, attract love, attract abundance in your life. And you will be having a lot of visibility in your work, in your opportunities. And it is also a very good time to visit shrines, diversity, and you will be going in for progeny, higher education, birth of a grandchild. All these are the possibilities during this time. This is a very positive placement because this is the house of luck as well. This house is 5th from the 5th. Birth of a grandchild is possible. And also there can be some spiritual advice that you or your children will be seeking. You are going to be quite creative also. This house is the 11th from the 11th. Very good for achievement of your goals, desires, gains, and also good for your friends, the circle that you move around in. Now, this is the 2nd house from the 8th, good for investments and winning of lottery and inheritances. This is the 8th from the 2nd house, gains from the inheritances or some gifts that you will be receiving. With family members, you have to be careful. One of the family members might have some health issues. And this is the 3rd house from the 7th house. So this is your partners or your spouses, siblings. So this will be very positive. They might be traveling, communicating, will be leaving the current job and will be changing the job as well. So that is positive for the partner, siblings. This is the 7th from the 3rd house. So this is good for your siblings, partner or spouse. Travels, in growth, wants to get married. So these are the prospects. There can be celebrations at home. 4th house from the 6th. So this is also going to be giving you a lot of efforts towards achievement of your goals and happiness. This is the 6th from the 4th house. So this is good for your mother's workplace. If she's working, the environment is going to be conducive, but she has to be taking care of her health. This indicates that the work from home. 10th house from the 12th. Good for foreign trade. If you look from the face of it, these things will not be visible. But when you're making the houses, how it is forming connection with, then you will be able to understand what exactly is happening. So this is the time for charities also. This is the 12th house from the 10th house. So this indicates some kind of end of career, or maybe change of job, change of bosses, change of portfolio. So for you, the best remedy, the best mantra would be Om Gram Greem Grom Sahar Guruve Namaha Om. So if you will do it for 108 times, Mondays, Thursdays, Sundays, it is definitely going to be beneficial. If you cannot do it every day, all the more better if you do it every day. Definitely this transit will enhance the significations, whatever I've said, towards positive. Okay. Now I have given some dates which are not that conducive, not that favorable. You just have to avoid making decisions during this time for house change, a job change. Avoid these dates. Or maybe, for investments, if you have to go in for some filing of litigation, starting of some medical treatment, you should avoid these at least. Okay. So I have already done the Sudarshan Chakra Dasha in the initial part, as in how it works. So if your progress Jupiter, see, Jupiter is progressing since you are born. The progress Jupiter has reached Leo, Libra, or Aries from your natal Jupiter, if you see. So if it is in second house, that is your Leo sign. If it is in Libra, that is your 4th house. If it is in your Aries sign, that is your 10th house. So these positions are not considered to be good. So for not everyone, but these age groups. So if you are in these age groups, 2 years, 14 years old, or 26 years, 38 years, 50 years, 62, 74, 86, then this transit will bring about some problems in those areas. So related to your finance, related to your work, related to your home, or home environment with your family members. So you have to be little careful in these zones if you have your progressed Jupiter. Okay, so this is a very simple technique which actually should be followed, because everybody will not feel the similar kind of results because of this only. Okay. Coming to Leo sign. For Leo, this transit is being the lord of the 5th and the 8th is happening in the 8th house. From the 8th house, this Jupiter will be aspecting 12th, 2nd, and 4th houses. And this represents money through others, property, vehicle, money received not earned, impulsive decisions, overspending, intuition, research. So you should be learning more. Also, Jupiter in the 8th house brings money through others. So that is why it is called the unearned income. But nothing of that sort happens actually, because nothing comes for free. So you will pertain to the money received, and you will come through some legacies or inheritances. In case you're waiting for that kind of solution, you will get it. Some verdict that you're waiting for, you will get it. Finances and bank account will increase. Psychic experiences open new powers and intuition. Financial backing and power to attract investors will open new possibilities in the business also. This will also encourage you to open up emotionally to others. You want to understand what is going on with others. You want to understand the deeper realms. You will have a greater confidence also when this kind of a transit happens. But do not get over suspicious about your partner or your spouse, because this is also little bit of negative placement for Jupiter for that reason. And Jupiter is going to be looking at your 12th house also, so you have to be really careful about your expenditures. Foreign delegates you will be getting connected to, which is again very positive for the growth prospects. Jupiter will be looking at your second and the fourth houses, so maybe you will be going in for some change of place, buying of property. That is also quite likely. And this is the ninth house from the 12th. This is the house of spirituality, basic learning and learning to forgive, foreign travels for spiritual reasons. Being the 12th house from the ninth, it is also loss of our belief system. And 10th from the 11th means that you will be offered from your friend circle or your organizations that you move around in some job offers you will be taking up as well. This is the 11th from the 10th house. So this is again connected to your friends. Your career is connected to your friends, or there will be large gains from your friend circle. This is second from the 7th house. This is the house of your partner's wealth, partner's money. It can indicate the wealth of your business partners going to be enhanced. This is the 7th house from the second. So again, this is going to lead to inheritances through your partner or through your family. It is the 3rd house from the 6th house, inclination towards communication with the employees. So this will give you that willpower to take the change, courage and willpower. It is the 6th house from the 3rd. So this can indicate trouble from the siblings or the competitors, or you have fear of competition. 4th house from the 5th means that this is going to give you happiness from children, or children are going to be achieving the goals that they have set, or they will be actually deciding something about their subjects, picking and choosing their goals. There are certain dates that I've mentioned which you have to be a little extra careful about. Maybe your expenditures, 13 to 28, 4th June to 2nd of July. You must make a note of these dates. And Jupiter will be go retrograde also during this time. If you have to make any decisions regarding your travels, investments, you should avoid these dates. See, from 8th to the 22nd of April, this is the time when you will maybe be working through some litigation or something towards the other people's money, because then you will be getting some verdict also, some decision which is coming your way, maybe related to your property, related to your inheritances, related to your family members. So that you have to be very careful during this time when you're making major decisions regarding these zones. Okay, 8th to 28th or 22nd of April. And this is the time when Jupiter is going to be in the Gandanta and is going to be Vargottama also in Pisces sign, and that's your 8th house. So you have to be extra careful when Jupiter, so for health especially. I have already explained the progression of Jupiter. So just go back and hear the summary part, what exactly it means. So if you are in these age groups, that is 1, 13, 25, so on and so forth, so you will feel that the results are not coming through. You're not getting the kind of results, kind of effort you're putting in, because these are the 6, 8, 12 house places away. So you have to be taking care of your health. You don't have to go in for some litigation during this time. Do not initiate any kind of changes at the workplace. Do not get agitated also. Or you can fall prey to your ego. The whole transit cannot be the same for all the age groups. I always follow the age group factor. In Rahu Ketu video also I did that, and it really works. Okay, coming to the next sign, that is Virgo. So for Virgo natives, this Jupiter is the 4th and the 7th lord, and is going to be transiting your 7th house. From the 7th house, this Jupiter is going to be aspecting your 11th house, 1st house, and the 3rd house. So first of all, it is a very powerful yoga which is forming for the babies born during this time, because Jupiter is going to be in the Kendras, and this brings about progress in your relationship, in your business, in your romance, in your income. There is a growth evident, promotion, name and fame, very good health. If at all you have been suffering, you will be feeling quite relaxed. Short journeys on cards, goal achievement, growth in business, relationship get better with this kind of a transit. In case you have some conflict with your marriage partner, so this will give you different viewpoints. You will have some new opportunities coming your way, and this is rewarding time. So for you, the best chant would be Om Hring Shring Shukraya Namaha Om. So this will actually be done on a Friday, or you can do it on a Wednesday also. So do it for 108 times. If you can't do it regularly, that is daily, 108 times. Now, there are certain dates that I have mentioned here, which are not that favorable. You are not supposed to make heavy expenditures during this time. Take care of your health. Do not go in for some litigation. There can be that you are entrapped in the court cases. So just avoid. There is a retrograde phase also in between. So that will depend on your Jupiter, if it is retrograde or direct. And also some changes that you will be not comfortable during this time. Now, I have already explained the progression of Jupiter in the initial summary part, that is the Sudarshan Chakra Dasha, that is based on Jupiter's progression. So if your progressed Jupiter is in Leo, Libra, or Aries, it has reached these zones, then it is like 6-8-12 relationship forming with this transit of Jupiter in the Pisces sign. So this becomes the second house, 8th house, and 12th house for you. So it is not that it is not advisable to go in for investments if you are in this age group during this whole transit. Definitely, retrogression is a different angle altogether. It might give good results in your retrograde time of Jupiter. 8th house, of course, there can be complications in inheritances or other people's money. So you have to be careful. If it is a 12th house for you, 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 72, 84, 96 age group you're in. So 12th house is going to be active. So with this transit will give you expenditures on charities, or maybe you will have some health issues, or somebody in the family can have the health issues. So you have to be extra cautious about this transit of Jupiter in the 7th house. Coming to the next sign, that is Libra. So for Libra natives, being the ruler of 3rd and 6th, this Jupiter is going to be transiting your 6th house. From the 6th house, it's going to be aspecting your 10th, 12th, and 2nd houses. So this is definitely going to be very positive for joining new jobs, hiring new employees, support from your co-workers. Health issues, if you are facing, they will get improved. Name and fame, promotions, that comes without saying, of course, because it's going to be enhancing the 10th house significations from the 6th. Some powerful people you will be coming across, some influential people, and you will be forming good connection. Maybe some spiritual leaders you'll be getting connected to also. Relationships will improve with your family members because it's looking at your 2nd house, and savings will improve as well. You are not supposed to give hand loans or any kind of loans to your own relatives. Avoid. Expenditures may increase because it is the 12th house aspect also from the 6th. So you have to be a little extra careful about your expenses. There is a strong possibility of getting married also, marriage-like relationship during this time. You will have interest in your health, diet, good habits. You will be feeling quite motivated to do things now. This definitely will give you a lot of support from the people around you overall. And you're going to be very health conscious also. Financial growth is on cards, and you're going to be feeling quite abundant and confident. If at all you have to go in for some competitions, this is a very good transit. Some foreign travels, you have to go for work to the foreign land or connections with the foreigners. So this is definitely a very expansive and a positive energy for that reason as well. You're quite motivated during this time. Now, for you, I have a chant that you have to do on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. If not possible, doing it daily, 108 times. Om Ang Shring Shring Buddhaya Namaha Om. So this you have to chant, rehear it, and then start chanting. Okay. Start on a Wednesday. That will be helpful. Now, these dates that I've mentioned, 24th February to 12th March, and then 12th to 26th of March, you have to be careful about your communication. There can be some ego clashes. Avoid traveling also during this time. It's going to be a little cumbersome, and purchasing of property, if you can avoid during this time, signing of agreements or documents, avoid. These are not that kind of favorable. Keep doing the chant. That's really helpful. Now, coming to the progression of Jupiter. I've already explained in the summary part. You can just go to the timestamp and just the chapter that I have mentioned in the description box. You will get to know that for Libra natives, if at all your progressed Jupiter has reached Leo, Libra, or Aries. So for you, if you are in the age group that I've mentioned, that is 1, 13, 25, 37, 49, 61, 73, 85. So that means in the first house. So your first house is active right now. So from the first house, this transit is in the 6th house, which is not good, not favorable for you. So you have to take care of your health, fitness regime. From the 7th house is the 12th house. From the 11th house is the 8th house. So it will give you some complications or misunderstandings with your friends, with your partner. You will be shifting out from the current location, which will be an uneasy move. All that can happen if at all these houses are getting active for you. So you have to see where the Jupiter in progression and the Jupiter in transit, what is the connection with that? What kind of connection, house connection is forming? So that will decide many things. So this is something very unique. One must use this in the transits also. Coming to the next sign, that is Scorpio. So for Scorpio natives, this transit of Jupiter is happening in your 5th house, being the ruler of the 2nd and the 5th, and is going to be aspecting 9th, 11th, and 1st houses. So to start with, this is a very positive transit because you will be getting a lot of new ideas, new places to visit, growth prospects, sports, opportunities, new romance, love life gets better. There can be a progeny, childbirth. Children are going to be responding well to you. They're going to be flourishing. They're going to be doing well. So luck enhancement, because it's the 9th house transit, there can be a weight gain issue also that you can face. You will get new ideas to expand your life, your business. Your prospects are going to be increasing, enhancing, expansion is visible. And also this is the house of talent, your ideas, your creativity. You are actually opening new doors to new people, new places, entertainment, happiness. And you will be inclined towards enhancing yourself with your new ideas and opportunities and, your discoveries. And this is also a good time for investments, speculation. See, 5th house transit is considered to be very good for Jupiter. So for you, if at all there is any planet transiting through Aquarius sign, so this can lead to a Vedha, an obstruction, because Saturn will be transiting here in the Aquarius sign. So that can bring about it can minimize the impact of whatever I've just said. So in case you are having a good relationship with your partner or you're not, so this can obviously be minimizing the impact with the Vedha, the obstruction. So if it is a very bad relationship, it will minimize the impact of a very bad relationship. So it will get neutralized. Okay. So if you are offered a new opportunity, new job, think about it, rethink about it, and then go in for that. This is also a very good time for great accomplishments, inclination to experiment new things, your self-expression, that is, and self-confidence, that all is going to improve. Chant this mantra. This will really help you in the luck enhancement. Om, Ring, Kling, Hung, Brihaspataya Namaha. Om. Do it every day, 108 times. If you can't, then you should at least do it Thursday or Tuesday. That will really be wonderful. Now, these are the dates which are going to be giving you some mixed kind of results. So if you are getting good results, so it might just, minimize the impact. I do the weeklies, so hear them well. If at all you are having some major decision making coming your way, so you should actually avoid 28th April to the 16th of May at the place of work, or some decision making that you have to make which you are not able to. From the 4th of June to the 2nd of July, some expenditures can happen, or some connection with the foreigners. Now, Jupiter is going to be going retrograde also. So 24th of August to the 23rd of September is a time when, depending on your natal Jupiter, if it is retrograde, so this will be a good phase for you. But if you're not, then this can bring about some miscommunication and misunderstandings often in your relationship. 22nd January to the 9th of February. Again, this will give you some back and forth about your relationship, about your career, about your travels, initiation of something new, some health hazards that you have to take. 12th to the 26th of March, you have to make some expenditures. So it's better that you avoid having sweets during this time, and take good care of your dental treatments if you have to go in for. 26th March to the 8th of April, this is the time when you will be to purchase some property, land. You have to read the documents well. Go in for the minute details. Now, I have already done this progression of Jupiter Sudarshan Chakra Dasha in the initially summary part. So you just go back and hear that. So see, if your progressed Jupiter is in Leo, Libra, or Aries, then this transit is not favorable of Jupiter in Pisces. So the 6th house, 10th house, 12th house, these are going to get triggered up in a negative sense. So these are the age groups, 6 years, 18, 30, and so on, so forth. You will have some problems related to your health or fitness regime that you have to follow. These age group people, they have to be a little careful about their expenditures, purchasing or selling of anything huge. Investment plans can fail. So these people should avoid, I think. Coming to the next sign, that is Sagittarius. For Sagittarius natives, this transit is happening over your 4th house, being the Lagnesh, that is the 1st house lord, and it is going to be aspecting your 8th house, 10th house, and 12th houses. So these are the zones which are going to get triggered up. Now, when Jupiter is in the 4th house, it is actually about how secured you feel. You have a good vehicle, you have a decent house to live in, good education, maybe you're very much into skill enhancement. So you have to have that sense of security. You do not have that sense of fear more. And this is also the time to expand your assets, property. Your desire to move to a new home will get fulfilled also. And this is also the house of well-being, celebrations, expenditures on charity, promotion, name and fame. In case you're working from home, this is going to be an easy go. And business is also going to flourish, and you're going to be having some family celebrations as well. And also this will improve the quality of your life and relationships as well. You have to chant Om Ring Kling Hung Brihaspataya Namaha Om. So this chant you have to do 108 times on Sundays. You have to do it on Thursdays and Tuesdays. And these are the dates that you have to be careful about your investments, connection with the foreigners, if at all you are signing some documents. So this can lead to some confusion, and there can be something amiss. So reread the documents well. 26th March to 8th of April is not that favorable time for selling of your property. You will lack courage also during this time to make decisions. Coming to the progression of Jupiter. Now, what is progression of Jupiter? I've already done the summary part. You can just go back, click on the chapter, you will reach there. These are the age groups which you have to be extra careful about if you know your Jupiter is progressed Jupiter is in Leo, Libra, or Aries. So this transit is not going to be favorable for you because it is in Pisces. Okay, so this, just make a note that you're not supposed to start any kind of business, no new job, no new connections, and you have to take care of your health as well. For Capricorn natives, this transit is happening over your 3rd house, being the ruler of the 12th and the 3rd. Now from here, this Jupiter is going to be aspecting your 7th house, 9th house, and the 11th houses. So definitely these significations of these houses is going to enhance. So when Jupiter is in the 3rd house, it will expand the reach to people. Your communication skills will improve. Your talent will be approved and appreciated. And also there is success and opportunities in that outside world. You're going to be having a lot of pleasure, creativity, expansion. This is the time to expand your knowledge, learn some creative skills, because this is the 11th from the 5th house. So this is the gain for the 5th. Good for the children's growth. They have to go in for a higher education to some foreign lands to achieve those goals that they have set. And also this is the time to expand your knowledge, advertising, promotion, relationship with your brothers and sisters strengthened, and you will be more accepting, lovable towards them. So just one thing that can bother you is that you lack that courage and that willpower and that enthusiasm to do things. So for you, the best chant would be Om Ang Shring Shring Buddhaya Namaha Om for 108 times on Wednesdays, Thursdays, if you can't do it regularly. If you can do it regularly, nothing like it. So these are the dates which you have to be making a note. This can be a little problematic as far as other people's money is concerned, inheritances that you were expecting, they can get delayed. And also there can be some health issues, some confusion at the place of work. The best would be that you donate something in white to a needy, anything, rice, milk, whatever you wish to, on a Thursday, Wednesday, and lastly on a Monday. Moving on to the progression of Jupiter. See, I have done in the initial summary part, I've explained with an example, Sudarshan Chakra Dasha. So you have to now see where your progressed Jupiter is. If it has reached Leo, Libra, Aries, then this is not that favorable because this is the 6, 8, 12 places away and would be unfavorable for these age groups. Okay, so make a note of these. Coming to the next sign, that is Aquarius. So for Aquarius natives, Jupiter being the ruler of the 11th and the second house is going to be aspecting your 6, 8, 10 houses. And there's big time financial gain that you are anticipating, and then job change, portfolio change, investments that are fruitful. Say the truth. There is a possibility of competitors around. So you will get them defeated as well. And it will also give you some clarity as to what you want to do. This is a very good placement of Jupiter, in transit. So you recognize new opportunities, you're very optimistic, you want to improve yourself, and your material realms also. But if at all there is a planet transiting through Capricorn, this is not going to be that positive when Saturn moves back to Capricorn, because from there it is going to be looking at your Jupiter. You must chant Om Ring Shring Shukraya Namaha Om. You should chant this every day, 108 times. Do it on a Wednesday, Thursday, and a Friday. These are the dates that you have to be a little extra careful about your health, about other people's money, unearned income. So avoid making major decisions and don't be too suspicious kinds. This is the Sudarshan Chakra Dasha rule. So as per this, I've already explained in the initial summary part that this is a progression of Jupiter. Now you have to see whether Jupiter is in the 3rd house, 7th house, or 8th house. Okay. So 3rd house, 7th house, 9th house, you have to be extra careful about. Okay. Coming to the last sign, that is Pisces. So for Pisces natives, and Jupiter is transiting your 1st house. So this is the Hansa Yoga and the Digbala which is forming. So new beginnings, growth, luck is by your side because it's looking at the 9th house. Enthusiasm will be there. Your self-esteem and self-confidence is blooming. And you are going to be getting new opportunities also. Partner will be very supportive. You please chant this Om Hang Shring Bhomaya Namaha Om regularly for 108 times. If you can't, then at least on Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. This chant will be favorable for you. So these are certain dates that I've mentioned.
You have to be careful of on these dates.
Now, for Pisces natives, you must check where Jupiter has progressed in your natal chart, in your birth chart, and what kind of connection is it forming with your transit Jupiter. So for you, this progressed Jupiter is in Leo, Libra, Aries, and this age group you're in. So this transit is not going to be that favorable. If at all you feel that why I'm not getting the results, I'm trying hard, I'm doing things, all my efforts are going down the drain. So it is because certain places when Jupiter transits, they are not favorable in a certain age group. This is it for the presentation.
So thank you, Vanita ji. That was really wonderful, elaborate video on the predictor signs. I really enjoyed it, and I really love that the way you explain the Navamsas and you go into the whole Sudarshan Chakra and everything, which is very detailed look than of just a regular transit, right? So it gives all different aspects, which is really wonderful. Thank you. And I have a few questions for you.
Okay.
So
Sure.
how do you interpret retrograde Jupiter from July to November? That's it's going to be retrograde, right? Between that time.
Right. See, retrograde, before going to what Jupiter retrograde does, like what a little bit I've explained in the video also, but retrograde is a very important phenomena. There is the planets are considered to be very close to the Earth. So that is why they give the maximum results during this time. It's seen that, whenever a planet is retrograde, so that becomes strong. Now, strong, when, we say strong, it can be strong in giving its malefic results, or it can be strong in giving its benefic results. So irrespective of that, and there are actually different schools of thoughts, there are, when a planet is retrograde and is debilitated, it's considered to be exalted in a exaltation place, and in retrogression, it's considered to be debilitated. That is mentioned in the Uttrakala Amrit. So when Jupiter is in retrogression, it's in its own zone. So definitely it is going to lose potency to give the positive results, because it is getting retrograde in its own zone. It's like an exalted planet there. How do you feel when you are at your place, right? You feel comfortable. So similarly, when you are in, not in that comfortable zone when you are retrograde, so it means that, it is not going to be giving that kind of positive influence on everybody. In Sanket Nidhi book, from Ram Dayalu, it's mentioned. There's a shloka in Lomesh Samhita, if I remember. So there, it is said that when they are retrograde, they will give the result of the Karaka when they get retrograde. Suppose Jupiter goes retrograde, so it will give the result of the 9th house from where it is seated or where it is transiting. So check yourself. If Jupiter is transiting, suppose your first house, okay, that is Pisces. So it will give the result of the 9th house. That is what is mentioned in the Sanket Nidhi. Similarly, if Saturn is in Aries and is retrograde, so it will give from there the 10th house result, because it's a Karaka, the significator of the 10th house. So that is also a different school of thought. So we have to understand like this, that any planet which is retrograde, there are stages. It will station, then retrograde, then again it will station, and then it will start moving direct. So there are certain movements of these. That is why the retrograde is a very, very important phenomenon. Mercury, Venus, they can get combust also simultaneously, but the result will be more pronounced of retrogression. Jupiter will be actually giving results. It is going to be giving it not that great when it's retrograde, what I feel, but definitely it will be dependent on your personal chart. We cannot categorize it completely as a negative one. If you have a retrograde Jupiter in your chart, then it is going to be giving the result related to that particular zone, enhanced results, bad, good, irrespective of that. Okay. So I hope
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So if someone has retrograde Jupiter, you're saying if someone has it in their natal chart, then it goes also retrograde.
Right.
In the transit as well. So it's more powerful.
It does get powerful. So now that is what I am saying, that if it is powerful, it is not necessary that it is going to give good results only, or it is going to give bad results only. So irrespective of that, the results are more pronounced in that particular zone where it is getting retrograde. And the degrees, we have to not miss out on the degrees. If you have on 20 degrees Jupiter retrograde Jupiter in your natal chart, and in the sky also Jupiter is at 20 degrees in retrogression, plus minus that 5 degrees orb we take. So when it is in retrogression, so definitely it is going to give the results even more at that particular time. So that's how you have to do. And if it is in Gandanta, that is the transitional phase, it is going to be moving away from the watery sign to the fiery energy. So it is like, the cycle is coming to an end. So it's a very, very intense actually this Jupiter in this sign is going to be very intense. That's what I can feel about this transit after 12 years, after all this transit is happening. Yeah.
Yes, it will be very powerful. Yeah. Thank you so much, Vanita ji. Thank you.
Good questions.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Yeah.
Om Tat Sat.